particular video had a sentence that I wanted to focus on. Okay? It says, and that's something Oswald Cooper couldn't have predicted. What does it mean? Do you know what is this couldn't have? Do you remember what is this? How do we use it?
Yes, it's
How
an
do we use it?
auxiliary, and
Auxiliary.
for imaginary situation that doesn't happen,
Didn't.
didn't happen.
Didn't happen. Something that was logically possible in the past, but it didn't happen. It
It
was
didn't happen.
impossible for Oswald Cooper to predict something that happened. For more context, watch the video, no? The idea here is the application of the word couldn't have, because I have seen that we confuse the modals a lot. You know, yes, it's an imaginary situation, but it's not really an imaginary situation. We are making a supposition about the past, something that could have happened but didn't happen, as you say, right? When we are talking about modals in past, we usually forget to say have. In the exam, many people had this problem. They forgot to use have when it was necessary to use have. And this is something that I am having some problems teaching, because I think we need Spanish for this. I definitely think we need Spanish for this. So I'm gonna give you some tips as a form of tip to use Spanish as a guide to translate correctly. Not because it's the same. I don't want you to use Spanglish. You know, I want you to understand the could have. Okay. If you use could have, we are going to talk about an imaginary situation. This is the famous habría, right? Or hubiera. You know? En español decimos que el hubiera no existe, pero lo decimos a cada rato, entonces si no existe, ¿por qué lo decimos? You know? In English, it exists, but it's not only one word, it's together. It's could have, should have, would have, might have, must have, can't have, etc. Okay? When you think in hubiera, we usually translate to
Could have,
could have. Good job.
could have.
Excellent job. Never use only could, because only could is for the future. Only could is to talk about the future, is about other things, and this is the best way, the best form, the best way to understand the difference is if you study the word if. Over here we have an if, and the same here. Let's listen. Read these to Jesse. Now that you are here, let's start with you so we can start the lesson.
Okay, if Osvaldo Cooper were here, he could notice his impact on graphic design and perception on the final customer.
Pronunciation on the what?
On the final customer.
Let's go to the dictionary just a second, because we have this.
Final.
Pronunciation, yes?
Final.
Good. Excellent. So read again.
Yes. If Osvaldo Cooper were here, he could notice his impact on graphic design and Perception on the final customer.
Good job. And it's perfect perception. It's missing this. It's perception. Watch out for the name. Oswald doesn't transform to Osvaldo, okay? That never happens, you know? So it's always Oswald,
Okay.
okay?
Oh,
Yes, yes. Keep that in
And
mind.
Philip for Felipe.
Philip for Felipe, exactly. That never happens, you know? Steve Jobs is not Esteban Trabajos, okay? So, oh, Bill Gates is Federico Puertotas. So, yes, it's going to be the names in English. Anyway, this is the context of the video. Yesterday we saw a video that talks about the creation of the famous font Cooper Black. This guy, Oswald Cooper, this guy invented one of the most popular and commonly used fonts that exist today, called Cooper Black. You know, it's this type of font that is like round and very thick and very eye-catching. You know, are you familiar with the Cooper Black font? Have you seen it before?
No, teacher.
Never. Well, yeah, this is something that sometimes we don't notice, but yeah, yesterday we talked about that and we saw how popular this is. It's about its curves, it's about how often it's used, it's about very important stuff. And this guy, Oswald Cooper, invented Cooper Black. And the second showing of the Cooper series, both designed by Oswald Cooper. You see it's over here, and it's over here, and it's over here, and it's everywhere, you know? Well, this is the context for the sentence. If Oswald Cooper were here, he could notice his impact on graphic design and its perception on the final customer. Let's take a note
Teacher?
and let's analyze. Yes, Isaac.
Sorry, I have a question.
Tell me.
Using this conditional if we never use was, right? We need to use were.
Precisely. Exactly.
Okay.
Precisely. This is precisely the contrast I want to make today. I want you to see, I want you to see the difference between this sentence and the second one. So let's talk about here. We are going to analyze the structure of each sentence. Okay? The first sentence is the structure of the first conditional. No, the second conditional. Which is used to talk about, as Jimena said, imaginary situations. Right? Imaginary situations have a very, very specific structure. We need to use the verb in past. I want you to see the following structure. It's using imaginary situations versus regret. We are going to go full screen and copy. Okay, imaginary situations is using the verb in simple past and exclusively the structures would, could, may, and might. The modals would, could, may, and might. And it's very important that you distinguish this structure from the second because they look very similar and we usually forget the difference. It's if plus simple past and then would. Contrasting with the second one, we have this. On the second one, we have the connector if, and then we have the auxiliary had, and then the verb in past participle. If Oswald Cooper knew his impact on graphic design at the time, he could have retired with great satisfaction. This means that this didn't happen. The second expression is used, or is called, the third conditional, used to talk about regret or alternate situations in past.
Teacher,
What difference do you notice? Tell me, brother. What's up?
but I think that it's missing the auxiliary had, no, in the second, well, in the second example.
Oh, you're so correct, brother. Yes. Actually, I am incorrect. Thank you very much, Isaac. Yes. It should be if Oswald Cooper had known.
Had known.
Yes, because the new is a second conditional. That's precisely the point that I want to make.
Okay.
It's exactly
Okay.
the point.
Yes, I got it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the reason we commit mistakes in the exam is because we are ignoring these portions, and they are very important. So I want you to take a note on the difference between these two. Mind the difference. The difference is massive. Just because you change the tense of the verb, it's like when you speak with the verb in present and with the verb in past. It's not the same if I tell you I go to the park than if I tell you I went to the park, right? The same idea. Well, the same thing happens here. We should use the verb in past when you talk about imaginary situations, and we should use the verb in past before past or auxiliary had, whichever you like to use, when you talk about alternate realities, regret, and things that didn't happen. Any question?
Teacher, in the second conditional, the next verb after would, could, or might, may, it's in simple present?
Well, okay, that's an excellent question. When we are talking about normal modals, like modals in their natural way, there is something in the Structure's Handbook that I like to call it the golden rule of modals. Okay? Golden rule because this will always happen. Always use the simple form after a modal. Always.
Okay.
And we usually confuse the simple form of the verb with the present simple. And I'm going to tell you the difference. Okay? The difference is clear when you talk about he, she, it. Okay? Because if I say, I go to the cinema, you go to the cinema, but he, she, it.
Both.
goes to the cinema, right? He goes to the cinema, she goes to the cinema, it goes to the cinema. So this is present. I cannot use the verb in present with modals. I cannot say she can goes. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, you say in the simple form,
When you say can or a modal, will, would, should, whatever,
Yes.
you cannot say the verb with the termination s because that's
Okay.
present. So here you can make a distinction between the verbs in present and the verbs in simple form.
Okay. Yes. Right.
You see, that's gonna help you a lot. Like that's gonna really make you understand the difference between these two. All right. Another question.
Teacher, what is regret?
Regret. That's an excellent question. Let's go to 200 and I can help you with it. Regret. Look at the face of this baby. She's not happy, right? Look at why she is not happy. Read this, Hime.
When we talk about crisis, we usually talk about how things would have developed in the past.
Crisis. You know what I mean? So you say,
Yes.
for example, the sensation you have when, let's imagine, you bought chicken last week, right? But then it's Friday, then Saturday you go to a restaurant, Sunday you order a pizza, Monday you have extra pizza for Sunday, and Tuesday you want to cook and chicken is rotten. Now you cannot eat the chicken because it's rotten. Oh my god, I should have eaten that chicken immediately. Or I should have put it on the freezer. This is
Okay.
regret, the sensation of, oh my god, I messed up. I screwed up. You know, I didn't do it how I was
Okay.
supposed.
Thanks.
That's regret. And this is the perfect way to understand all the perfect models. Would have, could have, should have, can't have, all of these usually speak about regret. You know? So that's the thing. Any other question?
No, teacher.
That's easy, no? Okay. So remember, never use, when you are talking about the second conditional, never use was, okay? That's something that Isaac just told us, and that's super important. Never use was when we are using the second conditional. Let me give you the demo. Let's go back to the previous lesson, no? Let's go to 454. Here. Okay. The formula that you have on top has a very specific indication in the first section. It says over there that verb should be in past, but never use was. Okay? So when you are talking about an imaginary situation in your life, you should use the other verb to be. What is the other verb to be? Help? Anyone?
Could you repeat the question?
Yes, if you use the verb. No, if you cannot use the verb was, then what is the alternative?
The alternative for was?
Mhm.
I don't know. Where?
Exactly.
Okay.
Because we cannot use was, the only option is to use were.
Mhm.
Okay, so when you are imagining things, you need to use the word where. Even when you are using the verb, the person I, or the person he, she, it, you cannot use was, because the difference is that one is real and one is not. But that's going to be later explained. So let's try to make an example. If we were, let me give you a conversation about this. Some recent news, what would be? Let's talk about what should we do? Okay, I know. Let's talk about debt. Okay? Debt, money, and
About the
tax.
okay. Yes.
You know?
Mhm.
Debt is the action of owing money to the bank
Yes, with your credit card.
with your credit card. The
Mhm.
the most the most fantastic but uh, will be a difficult tool to use in our modern days. Many millennials, as you and me, have a very bad credit history, right? Tell me, what would you do, imaginary situation, what would you do if you had house credit, housing credit, or what another way to call it is
Yes.
allowance.
Allowance.
Oh, no, sorry, that's not the name.
That's different, no?
Yeah, that's a different thing.
Yeah,
How do
because
you?
I work with allowances.
Okay, so no, yes, that's different.
Yeah.
How do you call a housing credit in the U.S.?
In the Is it similar that in the word in Spanish?
No,
No?
no, there's another name for it.
Mortgage, no, mort,
Mortgage, something like that.
mortgage, something like that. I don't remember the word, but yes, it was something like that. So no, I don't remember the pronunciation.
A legal agreement by which a bank or similar organization lends you money to buy a house. Ah, yes, brother. Exactly. That's the one. Mhm.
How do you pronounce? No, oh, come on.
Try to say it,
What's
try to say it.
what's the second symbol?
The second
More
syllable is this. It's together actually.
Hoy,
Ah, no. It's this one.
Or.
more,
or
More.
oh, sorry, I'm eating a chocolate.
Bon appetit.
More, thanks. More, yeah, more giants.
Uh-huh.
More, uh,
Ge.
more, more,
Ge.
more,
Uh-huh. And
more
the final
giants.
sound is
Mhm.
this.
J.
Ch- Okay, more giants.
Gech. Gech.
Mortgage, no, mortgage,
Watch out, watch out. Ge.
yes, mortgage,
Excellent.
mortgage,
The stress is in the first
mortgage,
syllable.
mortgage.
Mortgage, exactly.
Come on,
Mortgage.
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 Mhm.
So let's talk about
Mortgage.
the situation, okay? What would you do if you had an approved mortgage or home loan? Try to answer that question. Let's start with Isaac. What would you do if you had an approved mortgage or home loan?
Okay, if I had an approved mortgage, I would, uh, no, sorry, what's the structure?
You are saying it correct. Actually, you said if I had, which is the verb in past,
Uh-huh,
I would, which is a simple modal. So that
yes,
was
I
good.
would. Okay, so I wasn't sure. If I had a how do you say it? Mortgage?
Again, let's go back.
No,
Yes.
mortgage, mortgage, mortgage.
You're pronouncing it using the
Uh-huh,
alphabet.
mor
Don't see the alphabet, use the symbols.
mor
Ge.
mortgage, mortgage.
Excellent.
Okay,
Mortgage.
if mortgage. If I had a mortgage, an approved mortgage, is it correct loan?
Mortgage loan is the same. So it's
Okay,
redundant.
a mortgage.
Yes.
I would, I know I wouldn't take it because I it will it will take the rest of my life to pay it.
Really?
I'm not sure, especially nowadays because you know that the interest rate is so high due to the how to say inflation.
Inflation.
So
Watch out when you say inflation, terms that are like usual, you don't
mhm,
use the article the.
inflation only. Okay, yeah,
Exactly. Due to
yes.
inflation.
Due to inflation, maybe I prefer to wait a few months or years to analyze the future financial situation.
Good. Good, good, good. Watch out for your word. One time.
Future,
Stronger. Cha.
future,
Chur.
future, future,
Chur. Exactly.
future. Okay,
Future.
okay. Future.
Yeah. All the words that end in T-U-R-E
Mm-hmm. Sure,
are pronounced with chur.
sure.
Architecture.
Architecture.
Future.
Future. Okay.
Uh-huh. All of that. Okay, I like it. I like it. Okay. Have Have you ever have you ever I don't want to speak about financial decisions. I want to be more friendly in that case. Have you ever lent money to a
Come.
person who didn't pay?
Actually, yes.
Okay.
If I had known that that person, how to say, if I had known um, that that person, is it correct, won't pay me, like in past?
Won't.
Will-
Okay, how would you say
Won't,
that in English?
won't,
Because if won't
won't?
is future, no?
Yes,
But we are speaking in past.
yes.
This is precisely what we see in the gossip,
Oh, yes.
levels. When we are gossiping, we need to
Mm-hmm.
transform will
Would.
transforms to would
Okay, yes,
when you speak
yes,
in
I
past.
remember. Yes, okay. If I had known that that person wouldn't pay me,
Mm-hmm.
I I wouldn't I wouldn't have
Yes.
how to say, lended that
Lend is
money.
our irregular verb.
Lend, okay.
Is
It,
lend.
it is uh-huh.
Actually, it is on the handbook. When you have
Is it what?
patterns,
Okay, okay.
okay, the word lend is on the pattern of verbs that when you speak in past, you use here. The last,
Lend. Okay,
exactly.
yes.
The last one transforms to T.
Okay. I wouldn't have lent that amount to that person.
To that person.
Yes,
That's
I don't want to use how to say it?
bad
Names
words.
or no. Correct. The I prefer to give the less possible details.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. That's you are a good man. Good job, brother. Okay. Very good. Repeat your expression with
um,
conviction.
I don't remember the first part.
Yes, you remember because you remember this guy.
If I come on. Uh, it was if I had known that that
Yes.
person wouldn't pay me,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have lent that money.
Excellent. And that amount, you say,
Yeah,
that's
yes.
very interesting. Jesus Christ. Yes, guys. Don't lend money
Yes,
for the
never.
for the good of friendship. Jesus. Okay, that's a very good answer. Let's go now to the next. Um, let's go with Jesse. Jesse, have you ever um, what would it be? Have you ever failed an exam?
Yes, I have, but I don't remember a specific situation. No.
You don't remember what exam you failed?
Yes, I don't. I did. I don't remember. Sorry. Yes.
Do you remember? Well, no, that's difficult to remember. Me too, because I also like didn't pass an exam, but I don't remember. Well, I have one. It was math, but not because I didn't know, but I was lazy to study. So now another question: have you ever lost an opportunity that you really, really needed or wanted?
Mm, yeah, yes, yes, I have.
Okay.
I remember opportunity about a new job.
Ooh, okay.
Yes.
What was it? Tell me about it.
So I did the complete process, like interview. Yes, like 2 interviews, and I remember what's one, how do you say, one test
One
about, yes,
test.
one test.
Mhm.
And after the last interview, so they didn't hire me.
In the last filter, let's say.
Yes, in the last filter. Yes, the after days, they got me. Yes, got me. Yes,
What is the past of give
keep
pronunciation?
keep. I remember. I try to remember the past.
You remember the spelling,
Gave
but
me.
not the pronunciation.
Yes,
Gave.
gave. Yes, they gave me the feedback.
They give you the feedback. That's so sad. What What do you think? Why do you think you lost that chance?
Mm, I think the I think that the interview was difficult. They're making me, yeah, sorry, they asked me a lot of questions, and I didn't know how to say, how to
Respond with
respond.
it. Okay, that gives us the objective. Now, after you knew the requirements for the interview,
Mhm.
what could you have done differently in order to prepare yourself for the meeting, for the interview?
Do different.
What would you have done different, or what could you have done differently, uh, in order to prepare yourself for the interview?
Okay. Mm, but it could be an alternative situation, right?
Exactly, precisely. An alternate reality,
Okay.
multiverse.
If I have know about the questions,
Okay, okay.
yes, I know about the questions.
No is in present. Watch out.
No,
No, excellent.
if I have known about the questions, um, I it's simple.
Yes.
Maybe I could have, how do you say? I could have just response.
Mm, the
Mm,
the answer the answer is very simple. Do you use emails and messenger in English?
in English.
Uh, in the when you are using messenger or an email in English, you see this button.
Okay. No, but I mean about the question.
Uh-huh. Because you want to say respond, no?
Yes.
Well, respond is not so common. The best way to say that is reply.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Okay. But it's in past, right? In
exactly.
past, yes.
It's a regular verb.
I could have
It's
replied,
regular. Yes.
replied. I could,
Replied.
I could have replied very, very,
Better.
I could have replied, I don't know.
Better?
Yes, better. Yes, better. I try to think in other adjective like go, like focus. Well, okay, it's not a verb, but
Uh-huh.
it's not an adjective, but how do you, I think like, concreto, maybe
Oh, you can use the word concise. Oops.
concise.
How do you spell that? Concise? Uh-huh. Giving only the information that is necessary and important. Uh-huh.
Concise? Concise?
Concise.
Okay, concise.
Concise.
Try to say it again with fluency.
Concise.
No, the full idea.
Okay. If I have knew about the questions,
Watch out. New is simple past.
sorry, if I had known, sorry,
No,
known
exactly.
about the question, I could have replied concise.
Concisely, because you need the adverb. We are going to review adverbs in the next classes, don't worry. In this case, you need to say concisely because you
Concise.
are describing the way you wanted to reply.
Okay, concise.
Okay, because you are not describing the person, you are describing the action. So
Okay.
you could have replied concisely. Good job. That's the third conditional. You see, using perfect modals, and the first section using have. Okay. Do you know, guys, why we use had? Can you remind us how to use had or why it's necessary to use had? In what contexts do we use it? Anyone? Oops. Why do we use had? In what context do we use had? Anyone? Or somebody in the chat? Or tell me, I don't remember, teacher. I don't know.
Why are we using had in the third conditional?
Well, in any case, why?
And
How
then,
do we know when it's
okay.
necessary to use have?
I think that the first point is that because we are talking about something that happened in the past, but I remember that when we are using, for example, had plus the verb in, how say, in past perfect, we are using it to refer to an action that took place before another, no?
Good. Excellent. You use had plus past participle, not perfect.
Oh yes,
Past
sorry.
participle when
Yeah.
something happened before another action in the past. This provides sequence to the events. This provides information of what happened first. Look at this structure, structure number 8. This is the review of the structure number 8, okay? Attention. The structure number 8 is used when it's important to give sequence to a series of actions, parentheses verbs, in a story. Because one happened before another in the past. Let's add this information. One happened before another in the Okay? As Isaac is saying precisely. The reason we use had in the third conditional is the same reason. Something had happened before another thing happened, before something unexpected happened. So watch out. This is again for you, Isaac. You said is when something happened in the past. No, no, no. It's when something had happened. You need to include the had in your definition as well.
Okay, yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, has happened, yes.
That's precisely something that we usually forget when we are speaking. And that can provide a very clear writing and speaking. Both, it can really, really help in both situations, in writing and in speaking, and probably listening if we have the ability to understand it. Let's try to make another example. Okay, let's go with Jimena. Jimena,
Yes.
let me ask you something. Do you feel good about your I don't know. Has your pet had an accident? Your pet, your cat.
Yes, my cat have had.
Watch out. This is present or past?
Have.
You are very close, you're very close. The auxiliary needs to use the logic of present. If I have, you have, but he, she, it,
I have.
has with
Has.
S.
Sorry, has.
Yes, exactly. So, one more time. What has happened
Okay.
to your cat?
My cat has had an accident 3 months ago,
3 months ago, what happened?
approximately. Other cat. I don't know how to say that.
Try to.
Okay, he was fighting with other cat, and the cat um made makes him
Makes. Is it present or past?
made him
Made him, exactly.
an injury.
An injury, exactly.
An injury.
You
Okay.
can use the verb, a different verb. Let's transform the word made him an injury and use the verb hurt.
Hurt him.
Hurt him. That's right. One more time.
Okay. My cat has had an accident 3 months ago when he was fighting with other cat. The other hurt him in his patita.
How do you say pata? Come on.
Ay, come on. The same in human,
Yes.
his leg.
Okay. No, in leg is for thing. You know this word. Yes, you have known this word. This you can use. Well, you can use leg, but people usually use the word. No, but paw is different.
Pata. Pata.
Paw. Do you know Paw Patrol?
No.
You don't know
Paw.
Paw Patrol? Come on.
Paw.
Well, Paw Patrol is because this is a paw.
Okay. In his paw. Can
Exactly.
I do other time? Other?
One more time.
Okay. 3 months ago, my cat has had an accident when he was fighting with other cat. The other hurt him in his paw.
Exactly. Perfect. Perfect. Let's review something. Let's take that opportunity to review the difference between has had, has had, versus only had. In this case, you need only had, the verb in past. Because we are speaking about a certain point in the past. When you said 3 months ago, this is a specific point in the past. You know what I mean? Let me
Yes.
help you here.
Yes,
Has
like.
had never uses a specific point in the past. It's about past in general. We never speak about a date. We never speak about a certain point. So in this case, you need the verb in past, structure number 5.
Had.
Yes. One more time.
And okay. Teacher.
You
Start
can.
like this. Okay. 3 months ago, my cat had an accident. Okay.
Sounds better, no?
Uh,
The cat, another cat, hurt his paw, no?
hurt? Cat hurt? No.
Not only hurt, because again,
Okay.
we are talking about 3 months ago, no?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So everything that has a certain point in the past, take a note, guys. When you have a certain point in the past, like last month, 3 months ago, in 1994, last Friday, you know, at very specific points in the past, we use the simple past. Don't change it. We use had, the auxiliary, or has, the auxiliary, in different contexts. The contexts are in your structure handbook. Study your structures handbook so you can see the difference between the three. So
Okay.
question, Jime, what could you have done to prevent it? Is there anything you could have done to prevent it?
Yes. If my cat hadn't lived,
Live is present.
no, gone out.
But don't change the verb. What is the past of live?
I don't know.
Left.
Left.
Excellent. Complete.
Okay. Okay. If my cat hadn't left, hadn't left no his
Yes.
place,
His place or home. You can say home.
his home.
No, only home.
Home.
His
Okay.
home
Okay.
is redundant.
If Mateo if Matthew if Matthew hadn't left home, ahí puedes usar.
Whoa.
Okay.
Spanish.
Okay.
Can I use?
We could use a certain point in this sentence.
Yes. If you use have, that's actually helping the verb. That can give me context of when happened, when it happened, and what happened first, what happened later.
Okay. If Matthew hadn't left home 3
Yes.
months ago, he could have never
Yes.
get hurted.
Close. Could have, parentheses never. Look at the structure.
Past participle.
Past participle of get.
Got
Gotten.
well, hurted.
American English gotten. British English got.
How?
American English gotten. British English got.
Gotten.
Gotten. Complete.
If Matthew hadn't left home 3 months ago, he could have never.
He could have never.
He could have never.
Yes.
Gotten,
Uh-huh.
gotten hurt.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's
It
the
was
way.
so hard.
It is. It is. That's the reason why when we are transforming the sentence to English, we forget to use could, we forget to use have, or we don't use the correct verb in past participle. For example, in this moment, you were saying hurt in past participle when actually we needed the very simple form. In this case, we needed gotten in past participle. We were not considering that verb. That's why these structures are very important. Very, very important to keep in mind.
Okay, thanks.
You know, we are going to put those structures into our handbook. Conditionals, we talk about regrets, and when we talk about imaginary situations. Do you have any question? No question at all?
No, teacher.
All right. Well, people, we are going to add this to the structure handbook. Conditionals, the second one is this. And the third one is that. You may think, hey, and the first one, teacher? Or you didn't think about that? I'm not paying attention. Very bad, eh?
Teacher,
Yes.
teacher, is this PowerPoint or which application is?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Ah,
I-
yeah, PowerPoint.
yeah, this is PowerPoint. Yeah, this is PowerPoint. Only that correctly used.
Uh-huh.
That's very useful. Yeah, thank you, Bill Gates.
So, no, really, I need to know because I need to prepare my infography for the Congress.
Okay.
And it's not easy to me, or for me.
It's going to be. I can teach you. I can help you with it. It's so useful. I love PowerPoint. I used to make animations with PowerPoint when I was younger.
Okay.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite things. If I hadn't perfected my PowerPoint, I could have learned Excel. The problem is that I spent so many hours on PowerPoint and I never understood Excel for that reason.
Oh, never is too late.
Yeah, okay,
That
I
was
with you.
a perfect example.
That was an example, yes. Never is too late, I Excel, yes. It's never too late.
Okay.
It's
I was
never.
going to say that.
Yeah. It's the correction. That's right. So I promise I will learn Excel someday.
Silvana learn in 1 week.
Silvana, that's a quick learner. I will need the
Of course,
tips.
I'm a master.
Yeah. Careful. Okay, I need a master tips because I hate
Me
Excel.
too. Me too. I'm too bad for the technology.
That's a
I'm
mission.
like a baby boomer for this.
Come on, baby. We are supposed to be the opposite of baby boomers. We need to fight baby boomers.
No, no, no. I don't think so.
Okay. Well, well, we finished for today. Okay. Have a very good
Okay,
night.
teacher.
Try to make examples in your everyday. Try to, whenever you're watching a movie, try to extract those examples and analyze these examples. Okay. Take notes of everything because this is so common. We need to learn this. This is considered kindergarten English for you. Okay. So practice, and we continue tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good night. Bye,
Hey,
guys.
teacher.
Bye.
You
You too.
too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.